Hello and welcome to another Cast on the Bunker broadcast. With me, your host Harbinger. We are casting Planetary Annihilation and we have two players from the clan Promethean. We've got Headcrab and Nerofearstar. Nerofearstar playing in the black and Headcrab playing in the purple. As you can see here, we've slightly underway into the game. We have some metal extractors set up. We've got a few energy reactors, and we're seeing that Headcrab has got his bot factory up and he has his air factory, and he's currently got his fireflies out doing a bit of scouting, seeing if he can't figure out what Nero's position is. Nero himself is only just building his air factory. His bot factory is up, and both players are pumping out their fabricators and off capturing all those metal extractors. What is quite interesting on this map is we do have a nice cluster here of metal extractors, which should be good for the players to contest over, so we'll see how that works. And then a bit more sparsely located out to their flanks. However, we do see Headcrab does have a nice cluster down here to his southeast. And then when we take a look over at Nero, not looking so good, but over to his east here we can see that there is a nice cluster of metal extractors, and there are some definitely to expand into his north. All in all, much room for the players to manoeuvre. Interesting, we've got Headcrab putting down some single laser towers here just to contest this area, as he'll know that Nero is also looking into expanding here. You can see that he's got his metal extractors up. Interesting. And Nero is now moving on to building vehicle factories. So we have one of each. We've got a bot factory, an air factory and a vehicle factory. So a nice spread there between what he wants from his unit composition. Headcrab is, however, focusing more on his generators with his commander. Not so much buildings going on at the moment. Really got his fabricators out, but all in all, not much going on there. He is, however, bringing some scout doxes out just to cover some of these metal extractor areas, make sure that Nero doesn't try anything sneaky, try to steal some off him. We're just going to center the map now. And we can see from the poles, we do have Headcrab on down near the southern pole, and then we have Nero closer to the north, more on the equator if you like. And interesting, now got two vehicle factories up from Nero. He's got quite a few fireflies ready to do his recon as needs be, but all in all building up a nice force here. Quite a few fabricators out. Not so much expansion from either player into the metal extractors yet. And now we're seeing another bot factory going up for Headcrab. Here we have some laser tower defences going up from his fabrication bots. He's going to be possibly unaware, but he should be aware now that these tanks are moving in. The titanium insects. Looking like there's going to be a nice push here by these units. He should be able to eradicate these metal extractors. The laser tower is doing some nice damage, but I do believe it's going to go down. Possibly not. Let's find out. And just with a sliver of health gets away with that. And now we're seeing Nero moving in the rest of his vehicles. More energy plants going up here. He's now starting to expand into his northerly metal extractors. Headcrab similarly, not so much going on in terms of the expansion with the metal extractors, focusing more on the energy plants, but he is start getting to his bot factories now. Looks like he's going to go for a nice big push with the doxes. Clearly wants to contest this area, and we've seen that the laser tower now has gone down, allowing these bots to move in. Oh, and some good micro there, keeping his doxes out of the line of fire, using that superior movement speed. Commander coming in now, perhaps dangerous, but overall the commander does have some good damage. It is quite well armoured, and it is going to force off this unit here and kill it. Are we seeing 3 vehicle factories here now, and the bot factories? So we're starting to see more heavier armour being deployed by Headcrab. And now we're seeing the fabrication bots coming down, and they're going to take over this metal extractor cluster here. Lots of resources there. Still expanding out with the energy plants, keeping on top of that. Nero doing the same, focusing more on his metal extractors at first. He has have some minor defences here. Single laser defence tower, but overall he's going for this big blob of titanium insects. The tanks, if you like. Seeing these formations moving out, much production going on. Lots of these metal extractors now commanding. This is really what he needs to be doing. He's going for the heavier vehicles, so he's clearly prioritising metal extractors to get those units out a lot earlier. We can see that Headcrab is providing himself with some good air support. These were hummingbirds. So he's going for defensive rather than offensive. Noting that the hummingbirds are anti-air units, not anti-ground. We do have, interestingly, some doxes moving over. These will most likely be taken out by the titanium insects, though, before they can get to these metal extractors. Just clear the target, but does give him some useful information on where Nero is expanding to. Nice big blob of titanium insects coming out now. Going to be interested to see when he decides to push with this. If he keeps coming in with these small forces here and just raiding, not going to have much of effect with his commander around. He does have his own titanium insects now, and it's likely that we're going to see more of these laser defense towers coming up. Quite a few hummingbirds now. He is getting his fabricators down here. Likely he's queued all this area up ready for work. Still noting that he's keeping his doxes here just to make sure of any flanks, making sure that he is free to send any fabricators out on stacked orders. Does have some lying idle here. And there we go, moving off. And here we are, more doxes in here, just to probe, just to penetrate, keep Nero on his toes, not let things get too idle, not let him to expand and build and therefore overwhelm. Good tactics. Are we going to see any interesting micro here? No. Interesting, keeping them busy while he gets some forward laser defense towers up with the commander, bringing in more of his own Titan insects in to support. And now we're seeing this big blob here coming down. He's seen the commander, he smells blood, he wants it, he's coming in, he's got his own hummingbirds up for that aerial defense. Tower defense up now, the commander, very quick build rate, likely with the damage that these are putting out that he may possibly get away with this. He does have his units to support, but overall it's looking like it's going to be Nero's fight to take, with the superior ground forces. But as we can see, this commander absolutely munching through them. Oh, some serious damage there. 4 units in one with that big plasma cannon. Laser defense towers up here though for Nero, just keeping him on the back, for keeping those metal extractors protected, making sure he doesn't get too close to his base, and more going up over here with his fabricators. When we come back and we have a look at what's being built, we can see the advanced bot factory going up here, another vehicle factory. So we've got some nice stacks here, clearly favouring 4 in total to get that nice production going out there, keep a good steady volume of units coming in. We can see now that his titanium insects even are starting to amass. The armies are starting to get quite large now. No, although nowhere near as large as they can get. And what's this? Quite interesting. He's going for quite a sneaky flank. It will be detected quite early on because of how far he's stretched out his units here. Really, he needs to come further round. However, very interesting, good tactics. Good use of the map, the open space. Interesting here, the way he's positioned these energy plants. Not too sure if there's any reasoning behind that. Aerial units now for both players, just keeping a check on the base. Many hummingbirds here, really just there, as I say, just to keep an eye on things. We're focusing on ground units here clearly for both players. And a clear battle line being drawn here now. Overall, we can definitely say that Headcrab, despite being later on the metal extractors, is definitely gaining an upper hand in terms of territory. He has put himself into the front of Nero's base here, and now he's got these pelters up, nasty little buggers, raining fire and death down into the enemy. As we can see, the damage that this is going to do, wiping out almost half health, not quite, was already slightly damaged. There is some scatter on there, so they're not completely accurate, but with the rate of fire and these things going off, really, Nero needs to do something about those quickly. And now we see his army of titaniums moving in, using the pelters as good cover. And that second contingency force has now moved itself in here. We've got the docks coming up on the right, so we can see what they're going to do, but there's going to be a lot less microwaves focus on the area here with his commander. Going very, very, very risky with that commander. Move command Nero comes up with. Courteous there, reminding his opponent, playing fair. What is he doing? This is very Headcrab going headlong into command. Has he forgotten about it? Does he realise? Or is he just simply being very, very sneaky? Being very, very bold. Going in there, taking a few extractors out, hitting these energy plants while he knows that Nero has no units near. And then, yes, he's gone in very, very cheeky. Obviously, the aerial units are going to have no effect. They're only anti-air. Gone in there, taking a few metal extractors even out. And he's bringing it back. As you can see, these are both clanmates. You know there's a lot of fair play going on here. Friendly game. And interesting, if we look over the map, a lot of these metal extractors are getting taken up. There's a big blob here.
How you getting on there, guys?
However, there is quite an even spread now between the amount of metal extractors each player is controlling. As we come back into the fight, we can see still Headcrab keeping his commander up close. Seems to be working for him though. He's getting these buildings up a lot quicker, building laser tower defences while Nero is attacking, relying on the rest of his units to pummel them into the ground. And as we're seeing what's coming up here, we're getting the advanced vehicle factories, 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. We've got some advanced metal extractors going up here, increasing his output, making sure that he's paying for these units. And when we're looking over at Headcrab's base, you can see more focusing on the advanced bot factories rather than his vehicle factories. So clear split in the players there in the decision of what units they want to tech up, what their playstyles are. Clearly Headcrab is, although using a lot of titanium insects, he is definitely focusing a lot more on the faster units than he is on the big, heavy, sluggish brutes. Still, a lot of the area here quite sparse. No players really moving into that. Perhaps a few stack orders might be quite advantageous, just while the other players are clearly distracted by the fact that they're both rubbing up against each other, trying to force away. would say Headcrab does have the advantage here now just because of where he is on the mapping with regards to where Nero's base is, but Nero's still staying strong, still keeping in there, and an anti-nuke launcher going up, so clearly expecting some heavier firepower coming up from Headcrab. Headcrab himself also, no, he does have radar up, so he's keeping a track of any movements that could be coming behind just around his base in general, but nothing to indicate that it would be using that heavier equipment. However, Nero is just preparing for that. You can see these pelters doing their work, keeping Nero's tanks at bay. More tanks coming in now from Headcrab. See all these carcasses building up around, all the little spot marks from all the artillery, all the tank shells. This is war. Planetary war. More advanced vehicle factories coming up. And what we're getting out of these, we are seeing the leveler, the heavier version of the titanium insect coming out now, so he's really wanting to build up this force. Not so much Nero again, reminding him about his commander. I think he knows, I think he's being cheeky. He's coming in, he's definitely being very cheeky, but also being very aware of where his opponent's units are, knowing that over here, knowing that he can quite easily skirt down away this way. However, may get caught out by these Inferno units, these Flamer units recently added to the game in the last patch. Other things added in the last patch, such things as beam weapon insta-hits on the orbital laser, the flat cannon and the sniper bots. Interesting to note, as well with Headcrab going for these advanced bot factories. And we're seeing a lot of fabrication bots lying around, and as you can see, gillies, if you like, sniper bots, whatever you would prefer to call them. Perhaps taking advantage of that new patch, knowing that there's going to be no dancing around these. However, not much chance of that with the heavy units being used. And here come the Infernos coming in, causing some serious damage now, getting right in there into the energy, doing some damage to his economies. Fabrication units, fabrication units there, trying to desperately build that nuclear missile launcher, so Nero's predictions were correct. Headcrab now staving them off. His commander, tank class commander, is doing the damage. He does have his insects coming up, and we're seeing another flanking attack, more Infernos coming in now. Really is going to start putting the pressure on that base, going to force Headcrab to move away and start fighting. And over here, he's overrun him, he's defeated his defences with the titanium insects. And now it is looking more desperate for Headcrab. His units are waning, the lack of defence on them is starting to show. Got the, that went down. However, yes, if he can steal this attack, pull it back, you know, it's not over. He is suffering, and these Inferno units aren't doing him any favours, and they're coming in quite hefty. Now you can see the order of business when we're looking at how these players are setting up and building these units. You know, if they're wanting to come in for a flank attack, they're setting up the vehicle factories and using those specifically to launch those flank attacks, not buying units, bringing them over, and then sending them in lesser waves. This is a constant stream of units. And we have a teleportation device over here. Interesting to see where that's leading. Over here, very nice. Straight into the back of his base. Now, is Headcrab going to be aware of this? What's he going to be able to do to stop this? I think this could be quite the game changer. This could be the attack that ends it all. We do have the advanced bot factory, but you know, there's not many bots around. He's not sitting on a lot left. We're looking in here. We have the Inferno units from himself. Obviously in response. and such a mass of titanium insects now. However, these docks are here. We might see some more interesting micro using these sniper bots as well, keeping himself out of range. No, he's just going for the full frontal assault. Oh. And yes, he's definitely going to have to back out of that one. There's no winning that engagement, and we're going to bring back up here, and we're going to see he's currently just amassing his forces. He's waiting, biding his time. Oh, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt so much. All these levelers. He's clearly not aware. He's making no preparations to defend this. Look how close he is, and yet Headcrab has no idea what's about to happen. Still concentrating his forces around here. We do have a lot of the Inferno units that are close enough to react, so it could not all be over. However, we're really feeling the squeeze now, considering the position Headcrab was in before. We can say most likely, look at all the metal extractors. There's a clear, distinct definition now. Nero does have the majority control of the metal extractors. Economy, very important for these large armies. You've got to keep scaling it up. You've got to make sure that you're on top of that. Quite interesting that still he's not doing anything about it. No attempt to build any defences. A few pelters here and some lasers if he knew about it. I mean, he does have the radar in his base, but it's at the wrong side. And there is a mass blob here. We've got the levelers coming in against these bots, though, with a superior speed. We've got this increased rate of fire here. But also he is backing off. He doesn't want to lose too many units to that. Just rather come back, regroup, bring them into the range of these defense towers to finish them off. And now we're seeing the split attack all from all sides. He's going for the finishing move now. He's bringing all of these levelers in, coming straight into the base. There are these Infernos here, but he did send the group up. However, futile. He does have his dots coming in now, so how is he going to be able to come back from this? Will he be able to hold off the attack? Or is it game over? It's looking... Oh, I think he knows it. Yeah, there is such a massive firepower here. And there's just so much more coming in. And what's this? A nuclear weapon. Oh, dear. Oh, and that's just wiped out the majority of his base. It's a good job his commander wasn't there. One commander here. In fact, where is his commander? Let's just find him quickly. Do believe he's going to... Yep, he's here. He's at the back of the base, well away from everything. That could have bought him some time. Do think Nero's going to feel the strain from that. He does have still his base stretched back here, but that was a considerable loss there. A lot of factories there, a lot of energy plants that are down from one single weapon. The range of weapon choices in this game is very entertaining. There has been a no orbital units called on this map. And what's this we have here? A response unit. And that's it. That's going to be game over. There's no coming back from that one. Commander down. GG. Nero takes it. What an exciting game. As you can see, the difference in play styles. The difference between your light and your fast units. But ultimately, he was able to prevail. Thank you very much for joining me on the Bunker Broadcast. I've been Harbinger. I hope you enjoyed the game today. Thank you very much.